In this video we're going to learn how to make a database, how to back it up, restore it, how to attach and detach, and how to fill a table with a great number of records fast if you want to practice, and so on, okay? So step number one is right-click databases, new database, give it some name, so we'll call this my dbase2, and click OK. So there's a new dbase. Now we're going to write a small amount of code. So now you have to make sure you have the correct context. So type use my dbase2, right? Work in the context of the second database. Right, declare and add counter here, like this, integer equal 1, and then while add count is less than equal to 100, type begin, and then insert into table underscore 1. And notice at first it doesn't find it, right? Because we haven't yet created it. Okay, but we'll find it in a second anyway. The values, and now we're going to put in the counter. So add counter like this. Alright, and then set add counter equal to add counter plus 1 to increment its value, and then end. Alright, and notice this is underlined. We'll fix that. So let's delete this bit. And at the end what we will do is display all the records. So select all from table underscore 1. Okay. Alright, so now my dbase expand that. Right click tables, new table. Right, put an ID here. Make this of type integer. Don't allow nulls. And save that. Leave it as table underscore 1. Click OK. There you go. If you expand tables, there it is. See? Okay. Now it says invalid object name. So remember, if you'll do Control Shift R, I should remove the underlining. Okay, that's how it refreshes IntelliSense. Alright, now we're going to run this code. First parse it, make sure it's structured properly. Alright, execute it. Now it says executing query, it's inserting records into our table. Okay, so notice that execution of a query like this, where there's a great number of record insertions, can be a little time consuming, right? It already took about 12 seconds, right, to put in 100 records. Now if you scroll through them, they're all present there, see? Now you can imagine if you have multiple columns and a great number of records, this can take a considerable amount of time. So keep that in mind. So when you run queries, in other words, be really careful. At first, parse it, and probably run it on a smaller data set. Even if you have multiple tables put together through relationships, okay? Maybe take like a subset of each table, then construct the relationships, and then work with that subset instead of huge tables, because you don't want to run a query that will take 5 hours to complete. Alright, now at this point we have everything displayed, so this is all working. Now we're going to do some administrative stuff. So step number 1 is this. Right click here, go to tasks, and first what we are going to learn to do is detach. So click detach. Now if I try to detach right now, let's take a look. It says one active connection, right? If you click on that, please close the active connections before detaching the database. Select the drop connections option to drop all current connections. Click OK. Check that box if you feel certain that that's OK, and click OK. And the table has been dropped, right? The database has been dropped. So how do we attach it? Well, same principle, right? Right click, attach, click add. This is really easy. Choose the file, so we called it mydbase2.mdf. Click OK. There it is. So you expand this. A lot of this stuff speaks for itself. There's nothing sophisticated here. Click OK. And then it's been reattached. So that's really easy. Okay. Now the next step is we want to back up the database. So right click, tasks, backup. Right, now we have the name of it. We want to do a backup type full, so all of the records instead of just differential. Some people call this incremental, meaning only the recently added stuff. Alright, the difference between the old stuff and the new stuff is what will be backed up. We're going to do a full one, meaning all the records. Alright, backup component, the database. Okay, and you can back this up to a disk or a URL, right, to a website basically. See? There you go. That's really convenient. Click OK. And it says it's been backed up successfully. Perfect. You can click that off. And now what if something happens, of course, and you want to back up your data, right, every single night. You don't want to go through the nightmare of losing data, because I have made that mistake. I did databases for 5 years and, well, okay, it was unpleasant a few times. So let's do this. Right click, tasks, and restore the database. Alright, now this time let's say you're going to call this 3. We're going to restore it to a different database, just so we can see the effect. Okay, and you're restoring this thing here. Right, it's a type full, the name, the database, all of this information is given here. Again, this is all automatically generated, nothing to worry about, right? Verify the backup media. That's good. Click OK, and it gives you a progress bar. It says database my DBase3 restored successfully. Click OK. And now notice what we have here is my DBase3, and this is a restored version of the backup of my DBase2. That's it. And of course, if you look at it, it's the same thing as, don't worry about that for now, right, as my DBase2. If you want to delete a database, if you feel 100% confident it's a thing to be done, you could right click, right, delete it. Okay. It also says in the bottom, delete backup and restore history information for databases, and close existing connections if they're open. Okay. There you go. So now let's take a look. If you go to databases and you go to attach and you click add, see there isn't a file called mydbase2. Okay. Cancel, cancel. Now, if you do mydbase3 and the same thing, you delete it, but leave that unchecked. Let's see whether there will be a difference. So click OK. Now go back, right click, attach, add. There you go, see? Gone. Alright, cancel, cancel. That's it. Those files didn't have anything important in them anyway, right? It was just playing around. So, okay, to review, what we've learned is, remember, how to make a new database, how to use a while loop to fill it with a great number of records. Okay. Keep in mind this can get very time intensive. What else? How to drop, well, not drop, but how to detach and attach, and then how to back up and restore. Really practical, useful things. Very likely we'll be doing every day. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in another video.